It's time to go exploring into a brave new world. A brave new world that's being destroyed by a dog underneath my desk. It's time to go exploring. I've got my exploring hat on. We're going to go explore into a world that has a modicum of hope. A world that had a pretty consequential election last night. And a world in which Hakeem Jeffries is still somehow in power. But before we can trek into that world, and that world also probably is going to have some video games later in the stream because this boy is tired today. But before we can get into that world, before we can go exploring, before everybody else can put their hat on, we got to give the dog a treat. Because that's how we start the stream. Let's fucking go. Treat time. You want a treat? Gotta give the dog a treat. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. If the dog doesn't give a treat, it's not gonna be a good day. And we gotta make sure that we're gonna have a good day up in here because no one else is gonna be making sure about that. Lordy knows that no one's gonna be out there making sure there's a good day happening if it's not us doing it. We saw that last night. How is it going, everybody? My name is Endeavorance. It is Wednesday, November 5th. And also there's a year in there somewhere. I lost track a few 100,000 years ago. Oh, how's everybody doing this morning? How's everybody doing this morning? What kind of dog is he? He's a goober is what he is. And a bunger and a sweet boy. And a licking boy, currently, specifically. He is 50% Australian cattle dog, 25% lab, and 25% whatever else happened to wander up and bang, presumably, his mom. It's like one of his parents was like multiple generations of purebred Australian cattle dog, like show dog grade, like purebred, and then the other one was just some mutt. Some mutt came in and was the dad, and now Flynn exists, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Oh geez, it's another one of those days. Wait, no, but it's a Wednesday. I guess there have been Wednesdays before. If you're talking about Wednesdays, you're right. It is another one of them. There was an election last night. There was an election last night, and it didn't go great for the Republicans of it all. You know, let's pull up here. Let's pull up Decision Desk HQ. Let's look at some results of what we decided with our desk in high quality. So, all right. First things first. We all know y'all know this. Y'all know this, but Zohran Mamdani won the New York mayoral election. That's really fucking funny. For those who are not like that tuned into US politics or wondering why the hell the like mayor of a city has drawn so much attention as far as like an election goes, we've got the president of our country like actively live tweeting, telling Jews that they're dumb if they vote for Mamdani. Like the president of a country tweeted saying Jews are dumb if they vote for Mamdani, and yet he pulled over 1 million votes. So he won handily. Like he won extremely handily. What is that? Even if you added up everything else, it wouldn't even have beaten him, I think. Let's see. 8 5 4 9 9 5 plus 1 4 6 1 3 7 plus 6 3 8 2 plus 2 6 4 3. Nope. Yeah. Wouldn't have happened. Even if literally everyone else, everyone's votes went to Cuomo or whatever. Still 1-1. So Mamdani decisively won, pulled over 1 million votes, over 2 million votes in total. The population of New York, like the voting population of New York is like 5 to 6 million. Voting population in New York City. I could be completely wrong on that. State enrollment.
Going up.
Statistics. I don't want to open an Excel sheet. I'm not. Where's total? Can I get like total? Like, can I just get like the total, like the totally total? Guys, I just want the totally total. I don't want to open your Excel spreadsheet. I don't want to do that. Voter analysis? Where's your... I just want to know how many people can fucking vote. All right. We're just going to say population of New York City, and we're going to multiply it by like 60%, and that's going to be good enough. What is the fucking population? All right. We're going to say, okay, it's 8 million in total. Let's say 5-ish million can vote. He got over 1 million votes. That's like the benchmark. Like, that's the high water mark. If you can get over 1 million votes in New York City as mayor, that is huge. And that's what happened. But what's really significant here, and like honestly, like the thing that's causing this to be such a big deal, holy fuck, that's a lot of dice. God damn. There's just like 50 dice on the screen currently. Tomato at 31 months and Attain at 19 months. Holy shit. Thank you both so very much. So this was like, the Democrats were working overtime to prevent this outcome. The Democrats were working against their own nominee. And so like the reason that this was such a big deal election for, again, like those who are not, that versed in US politics is largely because they made it a big deal when it didn't need to be. Zoran Mamdani won the primary for the Democrats handily, like trounced Cuomo in the primary. And Cuomo decided to run as an independent and was essentially backed by the established Democrats. So the DNC, like elected Democrats, worked to try to stop their elected official, their elected candidate, who won their primary in one of the most consequential like cities in the country, and instead tried to campaign to get people to vote for a disgraced sex pest whose like only claim to the seat is I deserve it because of my last name, because political dynasties. And people were like, what the fuck is happening? Like, we just watched a year of the Democrats absolutely failing to show up and meet the moment. A year since Trump was elected back into office, and people were fucking floored by that, and the Democrats were blindsided, except not actually blindsided. They were just lying about how much they actually knew about how fucked they were. And here we are. They are given with like they did not deserve Mamdani. The Democrats did not deserve Mamdani. Here comes a guy who's like friendly, approachable, smiley, seems like a normal dude. He doesn't look as though his soul has been eaten by darkness. Like, it looks like he's got a beating heart. He's not fucking ancient. He hasn't already tried and failed in governing. He's not the kind of person that's like, I'm owed this position because of my seniority. And the amount of attacks against him, let alone the racism that they used. Cuomo's campaign itself was leaning into being like, don't vote for Mamdani. Don't you remember 9/11? Like, they were leaning into that. The Democrats were leaning in to Islamophobia to try to stop this guy who mobilized more voters, specifically in the demographics that have been troublesome for the Democrats. They worked against him and tried to undermine him, and it didn't fucking matter. He like pulled out more votes since like the 1960s, I think, was the last time that we saw this much. I will take a sip. Thank you, Informal Goblin. So, as far as it being a consequential election, it's consequential because the president of the United States made it very personal. Donald Trump is from New York City. New York hates Donald Trump. New York has always hated Donald Trump. That's never, ever been a thing. Like, he's never been liked there. They've always known what kind of a piece of shit he is. Because he basically just spent all of his upbringing in New York just screwing over contractors and being a piece of shit. So they've always known that he's awful, and so he takes it really personally. And he was watching this as like I want to control New York City. You know, he was threatening to withhold funding to New York if Mamdani wins, which is fucking crazy. So the president of the country and head of MAGA / the GOP was personally trying to tip the scales on this election, and it did nothing. The Democrats were trying to tip the scales, and it didn't work. So both major parties were against the person who just won this election. And so it's like voters had to drag the Democrats kicking and screaming into a record-breaking victory last night. The Democrats won a clean fucking sweep. Virginia went blue in, I think, every single possible election.
Wait.
They flipped like, what, 13 House seats? Let's see. Virginia. Let's see. Blue.
Hey, what? Wait. Look who just
That's a lot of line items. Yeah, so they got like a clean sweep across everything. So Mamdani won every position that was up in Virginia that is of consequence. So governor, AG in Virginia won in an upset. If you look at here is the Attorney General election poll. So this is the like projected victory, right? This is last night. I was watching this line. It went up to a 70% chance of victory for the Republican, and then this was at 95% counted, and then one batch came in, and it was just like, so like, I don't know anything about these guys. This is not an endorsement of any one of these people. I'm pretty sure that the Dem governor who just won in Virginia is like former CIA or some shit. So not wonderful, but very on brand for Democrats, corporate centrist, center right, whatever. But goddamn,
amazing.
Prop 50 in California, which was the proposal to do the redistricting to combat the Texas redistricting everything, that passed with flying colors. It passed so handily that like the second polls closed, they called it. Like the exact second that polls closed, they're like, yeah, we're calling it. It's done.
Praise.
Sleepless Serafina at 7 months and Girl Named Corey at 2 months. Thank you both so very much. So yeah, like where we are now is, well, wait, where'd the dog go? Oh no, hold on. Okay. Yeah, so essentially the Democrats won big against their best efforts. Like they did not want Mamdani to win. They wanted Cuomo to win because they're afraid of what's going to happen if Mamdani is successful. Now, I'm going to be really clear. I am gonna be watching Mamdani to see how he does. Now that he's won the election, I don't give a shit about like optics. It's about what he's doing, and if he's able to actually make good on shit, and if he's able to actually maintain the position. Because if he can land this, if he can take this, like, this is a fucking mandate, right? This is as close to a mandate as the like Democrat Party can see. Within their own sort of demographics, they've been told in no uncertain terms, this is how we want things to work. Like, we want new ideas, progressive candidates that are doing anything else instead of the same fucking 10 people on loop forever who are 900 years old. So they just watched that roll in. It's going to be really interesting to see what they do about it. I'm pretty sure the Democrats are going to essentially try to pretend that it's not that big of a deal, and that, like, they're going to point to the smaller elections, right? They're going to point to the smaller elections and say, like, oh, in these smaller elections, we have more data points that show that centrist candidates did well. They're going to ignore, they're going to call Mamdani an outlier, a one-off thing, and they're going to not do anything about it. They're going to try their best to not make him the new face and the new norm of the party. And hopefully they fucking fail. Because at this point, they have just shown over and over that they're not capable of handling the moment that we find ourselves in. And not even just the moment, just the era. We've already crossed into a new era in this country, and the Democrats are trying as hard as they can to pretend that we can just go back. And that everything, that people will forget about everything that happened and everything we saw them do, and all of the things that they failed to do for us, and all of the ways that they failed to do anything of meaningful import under Joe Biden that resulted in us getting Trump again. And so it's like they need to step down. The rampant racism that we saw come out of the Democrats during the campaigning is insane. The refusal to acknowledge that Mamdani is not an anti-Semite, like leaning in to the rhetoric that he's an anti-Semitic person, is whack. And they had to, right? Because they're bought and paid for, and we know this. But what they're hoping for is that, like, everyone who just saw what happened is going to be like, oh, my takeaway from this is that AIPAC candidates are still a good idea. Like that's what they're trying to make happen. They're hoping that people just fucking forget. What I hope will happen instead is people now see, like, you can bully these motherfuckers. Politicians are only able to do what they do as long as they have your, like, tacit endorsement. Because, like, not voting, not engaging in anything, it just means that they get a pass on doing whatever, because disaffected people who don't give a shit are the ones that are holding them accountable. If you actually hold them the fuck accountable, if you hold their feet to the fire and say, like, hey, you don't get to just put Cuomo up into a position and stomp out a lit fire like this. Like, you don't get to just do that. And now we're watching them squirm. Meanwhile, Republicans are already doing the I'm not owned meme. they're already saying, like, oh, well, these outcomes don't mean anything because they were all blue states anyway. Like, of course the blue person won in the blue states. Like, okay, yeah, let's ignore the margins. Let's Let's see. Virginia election margins. Because I believe every single locality in Virginia swung blue. Like went further blue. Where's that map that's got, like, the arrows of everything? Virginia election shift. I hate that I can't find things on the internet anymore. It's fucking dumb. I just want graph. But everything is SEO'd to all hell. All right, whatever. Virginia election results. Change in outcome from 2024. Does that work? Please, somewhere. Just opening up a bunch of links, looking at everything. No, there's no graphs here. All right, I'm just gonna show you what I'm looking at to see how unfortunate all of this is. Okay, there's some stuff here. I want that. You know what I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about that graph that shows like arrows on each county that show you like which way they moved. I want that graph. Where it at? You're all so bad. Graph for the graph god. Tiki Room Bunny says, I found it. Where is it? And can, oh, someone donated 3 gifted subs. Thank you very much. And Vincent with 200 cheers. Thank you so very, very much. I missed that. Oopsies. Oopsie doopsels. Anyway, I don't know. It's on Associated Press. Election results. Virginia. Hey, thank you. Dear God. Associated Press coming through clutch. Thank you. Okay. So if we take a look at this graph over here, a blue spike means a shift towards the Democrats. Let's play a game called Find Where They Got More Conservative. Because holy shit. So even in the places where there was a majority vote Republicans, right? Like even in the counties where the majority vote was Republican, every single county still shifted away from Republican compared to last year's election, just last year. So if I was a Republican strategist and I have been like saying, hey, y'all, the Trump thing is going to run out soon and nobody was listening to me, currently, I would be charging triple my rate. That's what I would be doing. I should be a conservative think tank. This is a great idea. Wait a minute. How have I never thought about this before? Hey, Stephen Miller. You want to pay me a lot of money to help strategize? Just pay me a lot of money and also fuck off. That's my salary, is you go away forever. It's almost like voters are regretting their choices. Yeah, it's a lot of buyer's remorse. A lot of people thought like, oh, a lot of people didn't think, right? A lot of people just straight up didn't think when they voted for Donald Trump. A lot of people were just voting because they were like, I can't afford shit. I can't afford shit, and I like don't know what to do, and Joe Biden is too old, and I barely am even paying attention, so I don't even know that Kamala Harris is even really running, and even if I did know that she was running, I don't really know what she stands for, and when she does tell me what she stands for, she's just saying things about tax codes, but I don't care about tax codes, I care about eating tomorrow, and I can't afford food. That is what people were thinking when they went into the booth and they voted for the con man, because they were like, but the con man is a business boy. And last time that the business boy con man was in charge, I think I had more money. And that's what people were saying. Like, that's basically it. That and racism. You cannot discount the fact that there are a significant number of people in this country who will not vote for a woman or a brown person. And Kamala's both of those. I tell this story not infrequently. Like when I went to Gen Con a few years ago, my cab driver out of the fucking airport, out of nowhere, thought it was a completely normal and fine thing to make it clear to me that if we had Kamala Harris as a president, it would be a disgrace to the country because that's not a woman's job. Like, those are the words this man used, casually speaking to me as a cab driver. Like, I know it's Indiana, but he's not alone. That guy's not unique. So, like, yeah, that absolutely played a role. I still don't think that she was a great candidate. I think she would have been a perfectly normal president for the U.S. I think Hillary would have been a perfectly normal president for the U.S. And that's not an endorsement. If anything, it's a dig. A normal president for the U.S. usually means war criminal who doesn't actually make things much better and fucks off to get a book deal afterwards. and it's just like, now it's your problem. So like I think it would have basically just been that. I do think it would have been significantly less awful than what we have right now, and like anyone who's implying that she would do anything close to what Trump is doing in terms of just horrible shit is unhinged and just detached from reality. But it also doesn't matter because she didn't win and she's not running and she didn't run, and who cares? Ultimately, I think people are freaked out. I think they're freaked out that they voted for this guy who is now actually doing the things that they touched the stove, right? They touched the hot stove and now they're pulling their hands back. We are watching as there is a gang of masked federal agents running around this country kidnapping people. And whether or not, even if all of those people were literal criminals, like had murderers, there's no way to prove that. And like, there's not really a way to just convince an entire nation, hey, you need to be okay with masked federal agents taking who they want to take. And if you get involved or try to stop them in any way, you will be taken as well. And like, that doesn't fucking matter. Like, you can't do that. If you have, especially like any kind of conservatives or anyone left of liberal, you're going to immediately terrify anyone when you say we're going to do more law enforcement shit. Because conservatives, like they're like the MAGA conservatives, right? Like the like stadium country music conservatives, the ones who would go to a Charlie Kirk memorial with fucking pyrotechnics and shit. Those people are the ones that are like, yeah, deport everyone, and I'm going to be awful to people, and I want to just be as cruel to anyone who's not a white Christian as possible. The average conservative, or the average like not busted person who's not also progressive, doesn't want more federal agents everywhere. Like, they famously don't like federal agents. That is one of the few like through lines from the like working class South through to now, right? Like rednecks in huge air quotes and like workers in the South used to be a driving force for progress because they were the poor workers who were pushing back against the barons who were, cracking down on them with fucking Pinkertons and law enforcement and literally killing their own employees in labor disputes. And these people are like, okay, well, the Fed and big business are getting in bed with each other, and that's not acceptable. And like, that is where a lot of that sentiment started from, is like, we don't want more fucking agents coming in and getting involved in our business because we can't trust that they've got good intentions. I get it. I get not wanting to have masked dudes walking around who have a blank check to just throw someone in the back of a car. So I think people seeing that are going to be like, oh, that is bad. I can't afford things still. That's getting worse. I can't afford a house still, and that's getting worse. I can't order things from overseas without paying fucking enormous tariffs on them. We're bombing random ships in the middle of the ocean and threatening wars with Canada and Mexico and Greenland and Venezuela and Nigeria and Yemen. And everywhere. Like, he's just threatening to go to war with everyone. They're extrajudicially killing people. The UN is like, hey, you're doing some war crimes. We're watching as he's trying to claim there was a ceasefire and then trying to claim that Israel continuing to blanketly bomb Gaza is not obstructing the ceasefire. He's running around the world just like palling around with his friends. He's pardoning people that he then either claims didn't do anything or claims he never heard of. Like, he just recently pardoned a crypto CEO who is the CEO of a crypto company that is running a bunch of Trump's crypto schemes. And this guy pled guilty to facilitating money laundering. Trump just pardoned him, and then when asked about it, said, I don't know who he is. So either he's lying, which is true, he's almost definitely lying, or he's just pardoning people that he doesn't even know who they are. Neither of which is a great look. So like, it's not surprising to me that people are a little fucking pissed because while everyone else is trying to figure out how they're going to secure food tomorrow, how they're going to pay their rent, why in the fucking world could they be working multiple jobs and can't afford basic health care? Why someone in this country could be working a 40-hour-a-week job at any level and not be able to afford a 1-bedroom apartment where they live? People are probably a little fucking frustrated about that. And yeah, the economy was not doing as well as the Biden administration was claiming it was, and the Biden administration failed miserably to course correct this country when it needed it. And now here we are. I don't know what happens next from here, honestly. Like, we now have a really good set of data that may very well cause some cracks to erupt in the world of MAGA. Like, we may very well see some conservatives who were already more moderate now have an actual thing to point to be like, all right, I can step away from this fucking thing. Like, I see the writing on the wall. Like, Trump is almost dead. Vance is nothing. And they just lost so bad. Like, again, they didn't need to win any elections. They needed to not lose this badly. So we'll see what happens. I also want to address a thing real quick. I realize I've barely been looking at chat, and I'm very sorry. I'm usually, for those who are new to this stream, I'm usually very interactive with chat, but I've just got, these are all, I'm just off the dome, everything that's on my mind about all of this. But what was I going to say? The people who were saying that there was not going to be more elections after Trump came into power, I really want to drive home just how decentralized US elections are and just how hard it would be to actually stop or usurp elections entirely. That would be incredibly difficult, and it would require the federal government to go in and assert that states no longer have control over their own elections, which is gonna be a hard sell, even in this era of like nothing matters and everything that's normal can be thrown out the window and all precedent doesn't apply anymore. Even in this era where that is the case, it would take an unprecedented amount of people just allowing the federal government to do things that it can't do across all 50 states, and everyone would have to have buy-in from that. It would be a disaster. Like, it just, I don't have a lot of faith in a lot of our institutions. I didn't have faith in checks and balances when Trump came into power. I don't have faith that the United States government is built and structured in a way that it can actually self-sustain through something as destructive as a Trump presidency where they're trying to break it. I don't think it's an unbreakable constitution. I do think it's completely flawed. The one space that I actually have some faith in the system is the decentralized voting in the states, because it's done at a municipal level. Like, it's broken down across like 3 or 4 different tiers, because you've got like your polling place that then reports to your municipality, then reports to your locality, that reports to your state, that reports to the Fed, and all the states come together and certify their elections together. So like, every single person overseeing each of those offices all the way up needs to be in on the scam, not get caught, not leak anything, and somehow bypass all the security protocols, of which they're actually not bad. So I don't buy that the election was stolen in 2024. And I don't buy that the elections can be stopped. I do buy election interference. Like, there's absolutely effort being put into fucking with the voter rolls so people randomly don't have their voter registration set up so they can't actually vote. There's effort that gets put into preventing people from being able to stand in line comfortably. Like, there's laws that say that you can't give water to somebody who's standing in line at a polling station if it's like hot out or whatever. But then they also make the polling station lines as long as they can be in certain places, especially in predominantly minority areas. So there's absolutely bullshit going on. And also, to actually target an election by trying to modify the votes themselves is incredibly difficult. If I was a political strategist trying to quote unquote rig an election or trying to like trying to sway an election, of all of the strategies that exist, editing votes is a bad idea. It is not the winning strategy. It's not how you do it. Do what Elon Musk did. Go around and say, I'll pay $1 million to a random person who voted for this candidate. Because that will get people to go out and vote. Because you know what people don't listen to? Politicians. You know who they do listen to? An opportunity to get $1 million. And they don't care what else happens. They don't
Sounds
care.
Like propaganda to me.
Why isn't voting day a federal holiday? The fact that it's not is telling. I will never forget. I was like a teenager, I think, watching C-SPAN for some fucking reason. I wasn't like overtly a Politico or anything. It was on TV and I was near it. And I remember seeing Mitch McConnell on the Senate floor arguing against a proposal to make Election Day a federal holiday because he argued that that would be socialism. That was the beginning of when I realized that they are just saying anything is socialism. Was hearing Mitch McConnell, then minority leader, I think minority leader at the time, was like, if we made voting day a holiday, that amounts to socialism. Which is as bonkers as it gets, and it only got more bonkers from there. Hello, fellow Alaskan. Wait, is there another Alaskan here? Oh, wait. Yes, Alaska is a red state, but we have ranked choice voting and easy mail-in voting because we're baller. That's the thing, is they're trying so hard to still rail against mail-in voting. It would be so beneficial. I mean, like, not to MAGA, but to, like, there are a lot of politicians. I think there are more politicians whose lives would be made easier by ranked choice voting than there are the ones who are currently fucking afraid of losing the power they have because of not having ranked choice voting, which is to say the ones who are currently in power. But like everything should be fucking mail-in voting, and it's crazy. It's crazy that we don't have that, and it's even crazier that the White House press secretary is going out and still railing against mail-in voting in 2025. Like, that is globally embarrassing. To be a global superpower and to say we don't think that there exists a way to do mail-in voting without having rampant voter fraud, which to be clear, we don't have that problem. Like, we already are able to do mail-in voting without voter fraud. But they're claiming that that's not possible, which is whack because it's basically standard. Like, imagine trying to convince the people living in states that have automatic voter registration and mail-in voting and automatic mail-in voting. Imagine trying to convince even the conservatives in those states to be like, you know what? We want you to vote to take away your easy voting. Like, you know how you haven't had to wake up on voting day, get up early, drive out to some location, realize that you went to the wrong polling place, already get fucked up from that, give up on trying to find the right polling place, so you have to ask the woman who's working at the polling place who's 800 years old what you do, and she's like, oh, you need a provisional ballot, and you're like, what the fuck is a provisional ballot? And so they hand you that, and then you don't know if your vote even got counted in the first place. You instead just get a letter and you check off a thing and mail it back. Don't you want to get rid of that? Don't you want your provisional ballot back? Oh, voting. There's the sib. Thank you very much. Why can't we vote from our mobile device yet? I think who was it? It was Estonia? I think it was Estonia. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, I don't want... Hold on. Okay. So Estonia, the country, is now Estonia. Like amazing name, fucking incredible name. Estonia shifted all of their governments online. You can, if you live in Estonia, you can now do any government thing on the internet. They got everything up there. They recently finished that project this year. It's not just a technological achievement, it's the culmination of a 30-year journey from Soviet-era bureaucracy to a full digital state, a transformation unlike anywhere in the world. 3 decades ago, Estonia was a newly independent nation emerging from the Soviet Union with a blank slate but limited resources. While others clung to paper files and bureaucratic inefficiencies, Estonia saw digital as a necessity, not a luxury. The nation was too small to sustain the weight of traditional governance, too dispersed to rely on physical offices, and too ambitious to let old systems dictate the future. So, yeah, like, Estonia. Now, they had a mechanical advantage here because their country is already named perfectly for this. So like America doesn't have, like, we had America Online, like we had AOL, but that's not as good as Estonia. So like, I'm not sure we're going to be able to do this here in Free Country USA. Anyway. Nefarious Yawn. Thank you very, very much. I'm about to be Estonia. Weed marijuana grower says I'm about to be Estonia. Rename your country? That's a good idea. What should we rename the US to? Hey chat, what should we rename the United States to? I think that would be good. I think that would be good. I love USPS. I'm glad DeJoy isn't in charge anymore. Is he not? Wait, did he get booted? When did that happen? Really? Leaves. Yeah. That happened in March? What? Wow, I missed that. I super missed that. Wow. Well, damn. Good. Fuck this guy. That guy sucked. That guy sucked a lot. Oh, by the way, I keep fucking forgetting to say this. If you're watching the stream on YouTube, by the way, first of all, hi. Thanks for being here. Second of all, like the stream if you would. If you like this stream, like the stream. Because apparently that's how one grows on YouTube. So please be sure to do that. It helps me out, helps me grow, all that good stuff. I try my very best to not do too much advertisement or like self-plugging or whatever. So if you ever are bored and feel like helping me out, sharing stuff is great, liking stuff is great, make sure you're subscribed to my stuff. And you can also head to isupport.dev for stuff like Patreon, etc. There. Right. There. Hey, perfect. Like the things, buy the merch, listen to the pod, etc. Yeah, I get so many fucking I get so much spam email about the Stuff Keeps Happening podcast. So Stuff Keeps Happening, if you watch it on YouTube or wherever else, it's also available as an audio podcast. If you search Stuff Keeps Happening wherever you get podcasts, it's in all the places. I put in work to make sure that the audio version of it feels like a native audio podcast. Sometimes I fuck up and like I slip up and like refer to a visual element that I'm displaying in the audio version. But I try really hard to make sure that the audio version of Stuff Keeps Happening feels like it's
wait. Look who just
meant to be a
subscribed.
podcast. I'm happy that's there. It doesn't get, I've got to die over my mouth. It doesn't get as much engagement and viewership as the YouTube version, obviously, but it still gets pretty decent engagement. Enough that spam bots are constantly coming after me, being like, your podcast sucks and could be better if you used our service and used our AI that does something. Pay us money. And I'm like, no, I'm actually fine. I don't think I need you. It is wild how many vultures are out there. Like, there's so many scammy ass companies that reach out to presumably middling creators such as myself and are like, hey, you aren't aware of this really important thing, and if you pay us money, we can handle it for you. And I'm like, I know more than you. It's the fucking Ron Swanson meme, right? Like, I know more than you. I don't need you. I don't need your help. Get the fuck out of here. Who run Bartertown? I don't know who run Bartertown. I'm not sure about that one, but thank you very much for the $2. And holy fuck, holy shit!
Right now, and
Tuck with 20 gifted subs on YouTube. Holy god! Thank you so much, and congratulations to everybody who got the gifted subscriptions over on YouTube. My goodness, thank you. Hot damn. If you did just get one of those subscriptions, so on YouTube, if you're subscribed to my YouTube membership, there are some videos that are members only that are fun little bonus content. If you want to check that out, so anybody who just got that, you can find that later on. Thank you, hot damn, thank you. Didn't know about USPS. Checkmate. Yeah, you really got me. Speaking of USPS though, holy shit, the UPS airplane though, y'all. This shit's wild. Nope. Sure. For those who are not aware, there was a big boom, a big explosion yesterday. An airplane with like a full tank of fuel taking off from, I believe, Louisville, like Kentucky, to what, Honolulu? Crashed like immediately and just exploded. Yeah. So some fire. That's not a video at all. Where's there a video? Here we go. It's intense, but it's not graphic. So like, it's kind of on fire. And then, yeah, that fireball. They're gone. Everything that was near it is gone. So like, that was a lot. Let's see. UPS second day air sort today at Worldport has been canceled. Hub and ramp employees in the second day air sort should not report to work. Family members seeking information should call that number. We're terribly saddened by the accident in Louisville. Our heartfelt thoughts are with everyone involved. UPS is committed to the safety of our employees, our customers, and the communities. We are engaged with the National Transportation Safety Board's investigation of the accident, and we are staying in close contact with the FAA. We'll work tirelessly, blah, 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 blah. As a result of the accident, we are halting package sorting operations tonight in Worldport. So, okay, here's the actual. At approximately 5:20, UPS flight 2976, an MD-11 with 3 crew members aboard. Brutal. Damn. Yeah, I mean, it's not great right now. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened. We don't know what caused it quite yet. But like, it's it's hard to ignore that air traffic controllers are currently not being paid. And like we know that there's already a lot of fuckery going on with the with just like the FAA in general, and like threatening to shut down airspace, shit like that. For all we know, air traffic control had nothing to do with this. It was just a faulty plane, but like we just don't fucking know. And it's hard to ignore the number of aviation disasters that have happened in just the year since Trump took office. And I God damn, like I am constantly hearing like low flying helicopters and jets and bullshit like that. And all I can think about is the plane crash, the plane that crashed into a helicopter at like the first month of Trump's presidency. So like, I don't understand why we're doing exactly the opposite of what needs to happen, which is like better fund our aviation safety instead of just claiming that we need to be better and punishing people until they're better. Beatings continuing until morale improves is not a good strategy, and it's been a year of this. Does seem more like a mechanical maintenance issue than ATC. Yeah, almost definitely. But like for all we don't know how understaffed all these places are, like who is not being paid to do what, what inspections are not happening or what's being overlooked. But at the end of the day, it's also very likely that it was just negligence. The one that crashed into the Washington River. Yeah, there was the giant aviation disaster right at the beginning of the year at National Airport. Plane crash, helicopter. Yeah. 2025 Potomac River midair collision, January 29th. A Bombardier CRJ 700 airliner operating as American Airlines collided with a Black Hawk helicopter over the Potomac. Instantly killed everybody on board. Just done. Just gone. Pretty illustrative start to the Trump presidency. When did Boeing start genociding doors again? Was that a year ago? It was a couple years ago. The past couple years have been pretty filled with Boeing planes just kind of dropping doors like a hobby, just sort of leaving them around like a little trail, a little Easter egg. It's frustrating because I almost feel like a conspiracy theorist, like that image of Charlie from Always Sunny. But looking at the numbers, air accidents and collisions have definitely at least been reported much more this year. I mean, it's also, it's a combination of things, right? Like Boeing has been dropping their standards quite a lot, while also we've been dropping our federal aviation standards, while also we have an incompetent administration. So it's like all of these things together create these conditions. That's the thing. Like all those times where it's like this is a distraction, or like, oh, they're just doing this so that we don't pay attention to this other thing. It's like, no, this country is just really fucking big, and the world is really big, and a lot of things are constantly happening. I made a show about it. I left my job about it and did this instead about it, because so much stuff keeps happening. And so a lot of stuff happens, and like not all of it is a distraction. In fact, very little of it is a distraction. Most of it's just stupidity and incompetence. Like most of it is just dumb. And that's the frustrating part, is the fact that like it's not really a conspiracy theory, because there are real life conspiracies going on. They're just boring and in plain sight, and no one's doing anything about it. The conspiracy is that companies are able to use money to fund elections as much as they want. Like, that's the conspiracy. The conspiracy is that Elon Musk, who's already the richest person in the fucking world, is angling for $1 trillion pay package while we have to pay for health insurance. So, I don't know. I feel like that's the conspiracy. I feel like the conspiracy is that like the powers that be would rather not do any actual policy work and instead collect donations and run on the potential of doing something and then not deliver so they can keep running on that same potential forever. Like, that's the problem. Maybe Nancy Pelosi whipping votes from a hospital bed to prevent AOC from getting a position on a consequential board is the problem. Like, it's not that there's lizard people hiding in the shadows manipulating everything. It's that there's very normal fleshy human people very loudly manipulating everything in plain sight. And people aren't doing anything about it. Totally Real Cat Girl, thank you so much. Says Zora Mamdani, flawless victory. American age of humiliation ends early. Now begins the American the American century of halal carts. My God, I would love a century of halal carts. Holy shit, I love chicken over rice. It's fucked up. You wouldn't expect it to be that good. If someone said like, hey, what are you having? Like, what's on your plate? Oh, it's a combination. It's chicken and rice. That's what you give to a dog when they've got a tummy ache, right? You give them boiled chicken and rice. But when I go to the man who calls me boss and he hands me a tray and it's got whatever sauce is on it, I don't even know anymore. I just say go hard. And I take a bite and I can't feel anything in my tongue for 3 more days after that. That's what I need. That is what I want from chicken and rice. And it's perfect every time. Although I do like lamb over rice too. I'll be honest. And I have been getting less spicy cilantro sauce on my chicken and rice bowls recently because I had like really bad heartburn the last time I got like the super spicy sauce because I'm apparently like a fucking old ass man now. So anybody who does need to unsubscribe from me for getting a more cilantro based sauce rather than a spicy one on my chicken and rice, feel free to do so now. I wouldn't hold it over you. Making me hungry? Me too. Me too. If you get weird about just normal chicken over rice, get you some good arroz con pollo. Arroz con pollo. My Spanish is fucking abysmal. It's embarrassing. Oh no, a white man that can't deal with spice. That's the problem. It's not that I can't deal with spice. I have gone my entire life I've never been okay. I want to set just a little bit of baseline here. I have never been a person that is like flaunting being good at spicy. Right? People who eat something that's ridiculously spicy and they're like, that's not even spicy. Like, fuck off. It's like the people who go outside when it's literally below freezing and they're like, I'm not even cold. Wow, you all need a jacket? I'm not even cold. Like, great, congratulations. I very much like spicy. I very much like very spicy. I wouldn't say that I'm great at handling extremely spicy stuff, but I will eat it. And I tend to like things more spicy than not. Except, not so long ago, I had like the worst bout of heartburn that I've ever experienced, to the point that I asked somebody to take me to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack. I thought I was going to die that night. And I've been a little spooked since then. So it's more of I never had heartburn really before ever. And like out of nowhere, suddenly I had my first like real bout with heartburn. So it was sort of like a wake up call for my body that like I now have to think about spice when eating rather than just going hard, which is what I've always done up until now. Thankfully, I didn't get that, Gene, says Eddie. I think it is a non-zero chance that it's from long COVID. I know that long COVID can do like gastrointestinal shit. And I'm wondering if like, since I've never had heartburn problems before and I do now, I mean, I'm also getting older, but still. Take Tums in your set, just put it in your bag. That's the problem. I took Tums. I took Gaviscon, the drinky stuff. I took like everything that you can possibly take to not have your body boil alive from the inside, and nothing worked. I was in so much pain. I've genuinely never had more intense pain than that night, and it was heartburn. I've taken a needle to the grundle. I've like, the heartburn was worse. Listen, my tummy hates the shit out of spicy food, but man, it's so good going in. Yeah, you gotta just not worry about going out. You gotta just not worry about the other half of that. Gaming. Gaming indeed. What's up? How is it going? Thank you for gaming with me here. Bro, that's gallbladder blockage? Oh no, wait, what is that? Is that bad? Should I be, is that bad? Am I gonna die? I'm probably gonna die. The pain is awful, and people who haven't had it don't get it at all. It's just like, you can't do anything about it. Like, you can't do anything. Once it's like started and like won't stop, it's like, it's essentially, it feels like you are just being cut apart from the inside out. It's so bad. Wait, are we talking about, I'm seeing people talk about negative, or yeah, 0 degrees, negative 40. I'm seeing people talk about the, like people claiming that they don't get cold. I can't stand it. I can't stand people asserting that they're like special in some way in response to someone else expressing discomfort. Like, hi, I'm currently uncomfortable because of something. It might be we're up super late, or it's very hot outside, or it's very cold outside, and someone being like, I don't go to bed any night until 4 a.m. or this isn't cold at all. Like, okay, I would like to not talk to you now. Like, you've ended any interest in me giving a shit about what you got to say about basically anything. Sounds like people bragging about body count or something. That too. People bragging about body count. Get the fuck out of here. People caring about body count. Like, if you care about body count, you like already I don't even know how to approach that. Like, if it's a thing that you care about, you can't really then judge people for it, because you're the one who is putting that requirement out there. Like, you're the one who has made a limitation, or has an ick, or a you know, a hard stop that you are pushing onto other people that they never requested to. Like, it's not like they wanted something from you and then you found this out and now like they've done wrong by you or whatever. They don't owe you their body, and so you don't get to be judgmental of them for their body. Like, you can be responsive in saying like, that's not for me. That's okay. But like, to say that that's like an unacceptable lifestyle or whatever, yeah, who gives a shit? (25°C) is like 78. 25 C and F is 77. 77. The only person that cares about my body count is the detective assigned to my case. Damn. Yo. Did crimes? Good crimes. Well done. As an elder millennial, I do not understand body count bragging. And then they be talking about not using prophylactics. What the hell happened to fear of STDs? I don't know. It's just like not a thing that I think about at all. Like, I understand. I think it's fair to not be comfortable or to feel uncomfortable at the idea of being in a relationship with somebody who has a drastically different relationship with sexuality than you do. I don't think that there is an inherent moral good in being hypersexual. I don't think that there's an inherent moral bad in it either. It's just a way to be. So, like, if you are a person who is relatively, what's the word I'm looking for? Tame with regards to that stuff, like, I think it's completely fair for you to be like, I would like for my partner to be of like a similar variety of me. Like, I would like for my relationship to be one that's built on like mutual understanding and comfort and so on and so forth. And if you're the kind of person who is not particularly well versed in sexuality and you do meet someone who is, and you're like excited about the opportunity to learn, then great. Like, it takes all sorts. I think as long as someone is good at sex with you, who cares? That's a good point. As long as someone is good at sex with me specifically, then who cares about anything else? That's the only requirement for anyone to who wants a romantic partner, is that they're good at sex with me. Take this, hands you a roll of duct tape. Go do good crimes. Look, I am not going to sit here and encourage my audience to go do crimes. I am going to sit here and encourage my audience to go do crimes which aren't crimes and can't be prosecuted in court as crimes because they're crimes, and that would be ridiculous. You can't be charging us with crimes. The Endurance Performance Scale. Wait, what did I do? Wait, uh-oh. My old leaderboard, or my old roommates and I had a leaderboard in the kitchen, or letterboard in the kitchen, with gay agenda, arson. And we'd rearrange it to say gay agenda, gay arson, or arson agenda, gay. Oh, that's really, really good. Chat, go do cranes. Construct new buildings of grand scales based on the height of the crane and the maximum load ratings. What's the biggest crane in the world? What's the biggest crane in the world? Largest.org. I don't want to know what else is on this website. Not looking at what else is on this website. The 8 largest cranes in the world. The Manitowoc 31,000. It's got 600 horsepower. It goes up to, it can lift 2,300 metric tons up 209 meters. All right, but let's talk about the Leibherr LR 11,000. Which can lift 1,000 metric tons, 222 meters with 680 horsepower. That's exciting. That's exciting. But let's see. Who's the winner here? Who's the big boy? That's a big boy. That's a big boy. The Saren's SGC 250. Maximum height, 250 meters. 5,000 metric tons with 5,040 horsepower. They put 5,000 horses in this crane. That's amazing. Holy damn. I'm impressed. That's a big load. That is a big load. Holy fuck, that's a big load. I can take a sip. Thank you, Matthew. That's a lot of horse girls. Where we're going, we're gonna need a bigger crane. We got more horse girls everywhere. Horse girls make the world go round. Let's be honest here. Horse girls and romantic fantasy book reading girlies make the world go round. Because of dead ass. Anyway. Let's see. I saw a thing. I'm scrolling back trying to find a message. I can't find it anymore. Oh well. I've been meaning to add a search field to my like chat view thing. Oh, that reminds me. I have a lot of things cooking right now, and I don't have things to share immediately, but I'm hoping that I will be able to finally start making some movement on adding a few new things to the stream setup and maybe open sourcing it soon-ish, kind of. More on that in a future stream, maybe, but that's been like a lot of what I've been working on over the past few like weeks, is just like going really, really hard into a bunch of behind the scenes work on setting up a bunch of stuff to do fun things in the future. I'm essentially adding a new platform, more or less, for me to be able to build fun little apps that anyone who follows me on any platform can log in and use. So for a while, I've been doing a thing where if you've been in my Discord, you can use your Discord account to log into various things. If you're in my Discord, you can join my Mastodon server. If you're in my Discord for a while, there was a whole bunch of different stuff. But what I'm working on now is a generic version of that doesn't require Discord, because I don't want to, one, I don't want to require people to have to be on Discord, and two, I don't want to build my entire platform on top of Discord specifically, because I don't want to be beholden to a big tech company. So I'm instead building a thing so that if you follow me here, if you're in my Discord, or, you know, from wherever, you can log in using whatever account, and you'll be able to use various toys and apps and stuff that I build. So that'll be fun, because it'll also mean that I'll be able to do like stuff on stream, like build little apps on stream that I would be able to like throw up onto the internet and folks could play with in real time. So that's neat. I'm excited for that. Question, do you need to verify a phone number to join the Discord? I don't think I have that enabled. I think your account just needs to be at least 10 minutes old is the requirement, or you need to be in the Discord for a certain amount of time or something. Unclear. Loggle developer says, don't tell Twitch chat, but Twitch chat stinks. Wow. I didn't realize that we were going to have some cross chat hate going on over here, but damn, the gauntlet has been thrown. It truly has been thrown. Owncast crew represent. Yeah, also for anybody who wants to watch on neither Twitch nor YouTube, I also have my stream up at live.endeavorance.tv, and you can watch it there for free. There's no account necessary. There's no ads, no anything. Just a service that I've got set up. It's just a self-hosted streaming platform. Nuh-uh, we don't stink. YouTube, if you smelt it, you dealt it. Here's the thing. Now YouTube chat is catching strays. Cartoon Mortal, it wasn't somebody from YouTube chat that said that Twitch chat is stinky. It was somebody from Owncast chat. YouTube's just out here chilling, and they just caught some strays. You best apologize. This just in, YouTube chat is gross. Damn, YouTube chat is catching strays. Okay, so the Owncast people just came into the stream and did the thing where they like flicked the Twitch chat on the back of their head and then moved out of the way so that when the Twitch chat turned around, they saw the YouTube chat. And now the Twitch chat's taking it out on the YouTube chat. The YouTube chat's just over here like, what did I do? Damn. False flagged YouTube. Let's see.
Thanks for the
I just got here. What did I do? How did this happen? Everyone's going to jail. You're all going to go to each other's jail. You're all going to get arrested and taken to the jails of each other's places. I've been meaning to watch you on Owncast because it doesn't lag like Twitch or YouTube. That's great to hear because I'm looking at my stream performance panel right now and it says healthy stream. No, it says no. It says healthy stream. No, nope. So I'm glad that that's good. Hopefully it's gonna get healthy again soon. It should get healthy again soon. Get well soon, stream. It should get healthy again soon because that machine currently has, I think, 16 cores and 32 gigs of RAM serving my stream. So it should be okay. But also, yeah, the latency is much lower, I think, than other options. It's like 11 seconds of latency rather than like probably closer to 30 for some people. Is this a healthy stream? No. Why not? You figure it out. Anyway, yeah, I also have a longer term goal that I've been like working on and trying to figure out a decent way to roll this out. I have a non-zero number of people who relatively frequently request a place to watch my content, like my video content that's not YouTube and not TikTok or Instagram or anything like that. And I get it. I fully get it. So I'm working on, I've got live.endeavorance.tv. I'm working on a concept for just endeavorance.tv, which is, if I make it happen, would be a place for me to mirror any content that I upload. So you could go to endeavorance.tv and find all of my stuff there streaming off of YouTube. I would like to do that. The biggest concern that I have is cost, because streaming video is not cheap, and essentially I would need to set up some way for people to like donate for that server cost to allow me to do that, because I would be both missing out on potential ad revenue from YouTube and paying the server costs for streaming the videos, which would, double hit basically. And here's the thing. I need money to continue doing this, so why not Internet Archive? I might do that. I want to have control over the files themselves. I also see PeerTube hype. It's not going to be PeerTube. It will not be PeerTube. I will probably open source whatever I write, but the current thing that I've got written is a custom app using a custom streaming backend. I had previously used PeerTube. I previously had a PeerTube instance, and I found it lacking. It's capable. It's very capable at doing the base things that it does. I did not find it to be a piece of software that I enjoyed using, and so I probably will not do that. But it will still be accessible and not hosted on big tech stuff. So. Okay, it says, have a great stream. Love you, Flynn. Flynn, did you hear that? Flynn, did you hear that? Hold on. Okay, good. All set. What a croissant. What a croissant. Become rich. This is a great idea. Wait, this is a good idea. Wait, this is a great idea, though. How do we do that? Let's find out. How to get rich quick. Moneybliss.org. How to get rich with 20 hacks you'll wish you knew sooner. All right, I'm gonna solve the economy here today. Everybody who's watching the stream, you're getting the insider track on how to be rich. Invest early and consistently. That's important. So if you want money, you need to take the money that you don't have and you need to invest it. And you need to invest it early and consistently. You think that you've been spending your money on food and rent? Idiot. Start a side hustle with scalability. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to not enjoy your hobbies for any reason except for trying to make money. So for every hobby that you previously enjoyed, you should instead ask, how can I monetize this? And then and only then will you be able to afford the avocado toast. How about leverage boring business for steady income? Some of the best ways to get rich aren't flashy. Businesses like laundromats. This website prevents you from selecting text. God damn. They even prevent right clicks. What is this? 2005? Holy shit. Use house hacking, renting out part of your home, or living in a multi-unit property while tenants cover the mortgage. Awesome. Great advice from moneybliss.org. Just simply rent your house out to get money. Buy undervalued assets and flip them. Obviously. Automate wealth building by setting up recurring investments and high yield. That's just invest again. That's the same advice again. Network strategically, connecting with high value people who can open doors to better opportunities. One sec.
Hey, there's some better opportunities over here.
I'm a high value person. Monetize skills with high ROI. She's hot. Monetize skills with high ROI. Sorry, I didn't mean to just like get fucking distracted by lady, but she's a very pretty lady. Anyway, monetize your skills with high ROI, y'all. Like, come on. Just identify your high ROI skills and monetize. Own income producing assets. Simply own income producing assets. Just do that. You fucking idiot. Utilize OPM to scale investments. OPM, obviously, stands for other people's money. Dodoy. Follow the 100x rule. Small gains won't make you rich, but scalable ideas will. The 100x rule means focusing on things that can grow 100 times bigger than their starting point. I've got a thing that can grow 100 times bigger than its starting point. Anyway, let's stop reading this article now. Will there be a sell foot pictures on this site? That's the thing. There are so many more direct ways to simply get rich, and a lot of them are sell feet pics. Like, at the end of the day, if you just are okay with shaking your ass and selling feet pics, you will probably make some money. And like, I'm not trying to undermine people who are like really fucking good at that, because some people are really, really fucking good at that. But if you're trying to figure out how to make money right now and you're trying to figure out economies of scale, you know what an economy of scale is? Dude's jacking it. Dude's jalorking it all over the internet. That's an economy of scale. I'm telling you. You own the means of production, which is to say dat ass, and the consumer, the demand is essentially infinite. The only thing is you got to then deal with the weirdos. But hey, those weirdos have a lot of money. I've gotten a non-zero number of sugar daddy, I guess, offers in the past. And honest to God, I don't believe that they're real. I'm assuming that they're scams. But God, I wish I could just take one of those. That'd be so good. Just be like, oh, you're gonna pay me a bunch of money so that you can have the satisfaction of doing that? Great. Also, the number of creators specifically that I know who have sold feet pics behind the scenes because they're like, I don't know why people are so into this and it's easy money and I gotta pay rent. Like, it's very doable. I have many NSFW artist friends that have a customer base, but it's really not an easy thing to do. It's really not as easy as a thing to do. People will jack to it and you will get money, but it's not. I think that there's some wording issue here, but I think I get your sentiment. Is you're saying that it's not like you just get money because you make porn. I think that's what you're saying. And agreed. You need people to actually give you the money, and that's why the real talent. And this is me spitballing. I should not be speaking authoritatively about this, but the way I see it, the real talent in sex work, as far as OnlyFans-ish stuff goes, is the marketing. What is behind your paywall on OnlyFans? I don't think it shows you people's stuff until you subscribe, right? Or maybe it's a visibility setting or something. But if you are able to get somebody to sight unseen pay for your subscription without seeing what they're going to get by just going off of a description or something, that's impressive. That is very, very impressive. That means that you've done a really good job with marketing your page and creating a funnel that's essentially convincing people to check out your page and convert. And that's so difficult. As someone who's hey, check out my Patreon and maybe support me. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny trickle of if you take my total number of views on a video where I mention my Patreon and then compare that to number of signups, it's usually 0%. Or if not that, 0.01% conversion rate. If you're able to consistently convert people, holy shit. And that's when it snowballs. Because it's also the sort of self uplifting aspect of oh, here's a person who has a lot of people subscribing to them. I want in on that. And I want to feel as though I can get closer to them than other people. And it creates this pressure effect, this peer wave of support. And yeah, long story short, I don't have an OnlyFans yet. Father, help! Visibility is a per post setting, but some folks have subscription only fan pages. Fair. Okay. Yeah, it's when I'm trying to think about OnlyFans creators or whatever. I'm just using that as a generic term right now. But whatever. OnlyFans creators who I know by name from having just seen them in in normal settings, right? If you are a creator who can create content that can go viral on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, especially without making a specifically overtly sexual post, it's not thirst trap, it's just content, but it's content that gets people to engage with you, and those people realize that you have an OnlyFans, and at the end of the day, that's the driving force here. Someone's oh, I like this person. Oh shit, they've got an OnlyFans, right? If you can do both the going viral on relatively vanilla content and converting people, you deserve that money. That's the thing. People act as if like OnlyFans models don't deserve the money. Like, in what reality? They're playing a market. And obviously the market has made a decision about what they should be paid. Anyway, I can't do feet pics because I've got socks on, so too bad for all y'all. You're not getting that. I was told at one point that the highest grossing creators were free pages, like no subscription required, but I imagine the workload was insane. Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of people doing like tips, right? Like tips are a really big thing. Do people pay for sock pics asking for a friend? Their stock is their beauty and they're cashing in. I mean, yeah, it's the same argument. You know, I will always be very, very loudly in support of sex work being extremely valid and solid, good work, because like it is an asset. It is an asset, and it's using your body, and it's no different, in my opinion, than like any other work. If you're producing a thing that is a thing that someone wants to pay for, then like you're producing work. Like that's just it. And if you can do that consistently, that means that you've figured it out. I mean, people do the same thing for like sex workers get the two-sided or the double edge of like they are creators and sex workers. And so those are like two groups of people, two types of people that like people love to hate on. People love to hate on doing content creation, right? I get this all the time. I get people who are like really, really mad at me for some reason for just being a content creator who's like vaguely successful. Like, I'm not raking in money. We've been over this. I'm not raking in money. I am making significantly less than if I had just stayed at my job. So it's not like I made a financially advantageous decision, and yet people think that that's the case. Like, people think that if you are a creator, you're just raking in millions of dollars, and that's just, I think that ship has largely sailed, except for a select few. What was I getting at? People hate creators. Like they think that I don't do anything. Like they think that I sit around and like record a video and then it's magically edited and it posts and I make $1 billion. It's just not the case. Like, I work more now than I've ever worked in my entire life, and that's not complaining. I'm doing it because I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. But I am working like at least 6 days a week and usually 12+ hour days. And so like the notion that I'm lazy or like not really doing work or whatever is, I know that they just don't understand. I know that they're just being small-minded. It still sucks because it's like, I had to learn QuickBooks, my guy. Like, I wasn't doing that before now. I formed an LLC and I am managing multiple income and payment streams. And like, I had to learn how to fucking issue tax documents to contractors because that's a thing that I do now because it's like part of my job. I'm interfacing with companies and I have to like do social media management and video production. Like, I learned all this shit. And I'm doing all of it. It's all manual effort. It's like 8 different jobs at once. And yet people will just like write it off as nothing. And I'm not saying that it's like harder than other jobs that exist out there by any means. No. But like, to pretend that it's not work is crazy. And then, you know, you do the same thing with sex workers. They look down on them because they think that it's like a cheap play or whatever. At the end of the day, people are just jealous. People are jealous because they can't do what they're criticizing. And people see OnlyFans models making a bunch of money and they get upset about that because they feel it's unjustified. And they're like, how come they get to do that and I can't? And it's like, well, you could have. They just made a decision. Brett, thank you so very, very much. What is it, 10 bucks? Thank you so much. Thank you. Kind of sounds like how people treat writers, honestly. That too. Writers get no credit for the amount of effort that actually goes into writing. Like writing something good, especially in the era of ChatGPT, where people are like trying to use AI to just output creative anything and not understanding what goes into the creative process itself. People using AI image generators to output an image and they're like, I made this art or whatever. Like, no, you didn't. If you use an AI image generator and you're calling the output art, you are so far detached from what it means to be a creative. I can't even begin. What you did was tell a computer to produce some output, and you can say, I like the aesthetics that were produced here, but to say that you've created art is just factually inaccurate. And so then you've got people who are trying to like make an entire books using ChatGPT. And it's so obvious. It's so blatantly obvious when ChatGPT is writing something, and like no amount of prompting or tweaking is going to change how obvious it is when something is written by ChatGPT. And I'm not even just talking about M dashes. I'm just talking about like weird writing styles, like the very, very bland writing style that no one gives a shit about. I'm not ever really concerned about someone thinking that like Stuff Keeps Happening is written by ChatGPT, for example, because my writing style is very specific. And like I once as like a experiment was curious because I had heard like, oh, that the like AI has come so far, it's gonna like completely take over certain jobs and blah, 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 blah. And so I tried one of those things that was like produce an entire project output using some AI tool. And I said, okay, read these newsletters from my website, and with that baseline, assess stories that should go into a newsletter for this website and produce a draft. And the output was fucking awful. It was like the most boring slop I've ever read. It didn't sound anything like my voice, even though I told it to like pull in these articles and use the way that I write. And it was like just the best part of it. And I think the best example of why AI just doesn't get it is that when I told it to produce an issue of Stuff Keeps Happening, and I told it to read all of the example issues, it gave an actual weather forecast in the section for the weather. It actually went out and fetched the weather forecast and put a meaningful actual weather forecast in Stuff Keeps Happening. And I was like, this is explicitly why AI won't take over people's jobs. It can't do it. It can't understand absurdity. It can't figure it out. And I don't think that, and I said this before in a previous stream, people who are using AI to try to do creative output don't know how to make good creative output, and therefore don't know how to take the output from ChatGPT and identify if it's good or not. Because like if you don't have the creative drive to begin with, you can't replace that with a computer. At the very least, like even if ChatGPT could output perfect everything, if you don't know what you want to make or the specifics around it, it's not going to be great. But I mean, the main thing for me is I don't feel any sense of pride over anything that produces AI output. Like, I don't feel ownership over it. I don't feel like it's my work. Did you accidentally wrangle a bot to write a blog post? I do not write Stuff Keeps Happening using ChatGPT. That is not a thing. It was a one-time experiment to see how it did, and it did terribly. And I didn't even experiment with the intention of doing it. I did an experiment with the intention of proving that these are not actually all that good, and it didn't take much effort. Your format is prompt injecting the LLM. That's a really good idea. I should start adding invisible prompt injections. to Stuff Keeps Happening issues. That'd be really, really good. Better just to do it yourself. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this whole time myself, and like I don't have research staff or editors. I mean, I have video editors now, but they don't work on Stuff Keeps Happening. So like, I'm just gonna keep doing it. I don't know. I've figured out a flow and it works for me. I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Anyway, have we gotten any updates from the GOP with regards to their crash out today? Let's see. How key demographic groups voted. Let's look at this. This will be a fun little diversion. Democratic candidates saw victories across key races on Tuesday. Okay. Percent of New York City voters who are people who broke hard for Mamdani. Okay, so 18 to 29 went 78% Mamdani. 30 to 44, 66%. 45 to 64, 43%. 65 and over, 36%. Hey, boomers and Gen X. Wake the fuck up. Ever. Please. I'm begging you. Like, I try not to lean in to the generational war stuff, the like being mad at boomers thing, because I know that they're not all the same. And also, a majority of you voting for Andrew fucking Cuomo, like he's a disgraced sex pest. I feel like you could just not vote also. You could just not. You could just shut the fuck up and sit it out and let the people who are going to be alive for the next couple of generations take over. But nope. Yeah, black voters went real hard back to the Dems. Where's the Virginia? Do they have that? Not seeing it. I'm pretty sure in Virginia, black voters went like 90% Dem after, black men went more towards Trump last year. They like the sex pest because they were of the generation when that shit doesn't matter because, quote, people are too sensitive. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of boomers especially bought the anti-Semitic rhetoric because I think a lot of boomers, like the boomers are the ones that are nervous about the Israel stuff, right? Like they are the ones that are really going to be sticky on Israel and really not gonna let that one go for a while because like they've been accepting that Israel is like a thing that we're supposed to support for a very, very long time comparatively. And like there's so much readily available information showing why Israel is fucking crazy that's very accessible to a lot of younger people and not particularly accessible to older generations. So like they're going to eat up that rhetoric. They're going to eat up the, oh, he hates Jews, oh, he hates Israel or whatever, and that's scary. Oh, he doesn't have experience, and that's scary, as if the Trump administration has any experience or whatever. And also, experience hasn't been doing a whole lot for us. We did experience. We had Joe Biden. We did experience. We had Cuomo already. And Eric Adams. The guys with experience are all sex pests and criminals. Maybe just do a little bit something different once ever. That's basically what happened last night. I love that we're breaking the cycle. It's a small win, but a win every now and again is nice. Yeah, and I want to be really, really clear, especially if you're someone who's very skeptical of electoral politics, as I am. I remain very skeptical of electoral politics, and I remain pretty steadfast in that we don't vote our way out of fixing all of this. I think a route in that space is essentially bully the Democrats into being a progressive party. We saw it happen with the GOP. Like MAGA rolled in, the Tea Party rolled into the GOP and started to chip away at things, and then MAGA rolled in and just took over the party entirely. I think we can see that with essentially the DSA taking over the DNC, and like, at least we'll have a party that's somewhat, almost sort of somewhat aligned with what people want to have happen, and not just an entire political party whose baseline is like, oh, well, we can never do better, and seniority is the only thing that matters. So let's put a octogenarian cancer patient at the head of everything again. It's just such a disappointing party. It's just so fucking disappointing that like they have been just hit over the head with every version of the message that they need to fix their shit. And what do? They turn around and Chuck fucking Schumer gives the most tepid response when he was asked if he voted for Mamdani. He was like, look, I voted and I'm looking forward to working with the next mayor. Like, that's just embarrassing. Like that I think should be his legacy, is Chuck Schumer on the day before a historic election victory across the nation, but in New York, in his state, he went up and was like, I voted. Stop asking me about it. Like, he angrily accepted that Mamdani was going to win and was like, still down to the wire, wouldn't even acknowledge him. The best they could do was like acknowledge that they're like, I do acknowledge the increase in voter turnout associated with this time in which he is running as a candidate. Like, that's the best compliment that they were able to give him. And it's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I'm not even a Democrat, and it's embarrassing. You have so little writing on anything. You have nothing to lose. You've already lost everything. I don't give a damn about your donors or whatever. Like, before you can get donations, you need a party. You need people in power. Like, do that. Neoliberal's gonna neolib. It's truly out of control. Like, it's truly crazy how strong the sentiment that we can't aim higher is in this country. When you look to any comparable city in Europe or Asia or really anywhere, you then like wonder why the fuck we can't do any of that. Like, why can't we have prettier parks? Why can't we have cleaner streets? Why can't we have faster, cheaper, or free public transportation? Why can't we have an affordable cost of living? Why can't we have paychecks that actually cover the cost of living? Why can't we have access to healthcare? Why can't we have reasonable drug prices? Why can't we have affordable actual doctors? Like, not just people who tell you to lose weight. Why can't we have our taxes go towards feeding our citizens and investing in us? And instead the taxes go to bombing brown people overseas and bombing brown people south of us in the seas. We just like can't have anything better ever, apparently. And the reaction, especially from the right, but also from some people on the left, of Mamdani getting elected to the mayor of New York City, they're acting like this is the end of America. When all that's happened is people living in one of the most major metropolitan areas in the country voted for a guy whose policies are basically in line with all major metropolitan cities where people are thriving. That's all that happened. And people are acting like it's going to be a desolate wasteland by the time his tenure is up. However, I will say that I have seen a non-zero number of conservatives essentially being like, so what happens if it goes well? Like, his policies are wildly popular among the people who voted for him, and people are very driven right now to do something. So even the Republicans are like, you know, while they're trying to manifest this fake reality of like New York City having fallen to the communist jihadists or whatever, they're also like, oh fuck, if this goes well, we're so screwed. Like, they've gone so far into the calling everything communism and socialism space that if like the world's most tepid progressive being elected to a mayoral position brings a little bit of good and people are like, oh wait, actually it does kind of work, they're like, oh god, this is the worst case scenario, oh god. They acted the same way when Obama won. Yeah, I mean, brown man just got high visibility position, they're not going to be happy. Pretty charismatic brown man specifically. They're trying so hard to act like he's not hot. They're trying so hard. Like, that's not a winning strategy. You like accept that he's hot. It would be an easier strategy to get people on board to acknowledge that he's hot and claim that that's why he was drawing votes. Was that like people are like vapid or whatever, and like the Dems don't care about whatever, they just think he's cute, and so like that's an easier line to ride than to try to point at Zoran Mamdani and say this man is not fucking attractive as hell. Like, the dude's got a twinkle in his eye and a smile that can melt the iciest heart. Come on now. I'm not about to sit here and be like, you know, I think he's a great politician who is going to do no wrong and is going to deliver on everything he's ever said. Like, no. I think we should hold him accountable and scrutinize his work, and I'm cautiously optimistic. And also, the dude could get it. Like, I'm not angling for it. I'm not asking for it. But damn, I get it. Now all I hear is Squidward. Yeah, Squidward. But yeah, it's really funny how like they're so vain that they can't even find a line of attack that makes sense, because they have to stroke their ego in everything they do, which is like why they're claiming like, oh, this doesn't matter, oh, it has no real implication on anything. Like, no, my guy, you can't just go on the TV and say like they try really hard to say things until those things essentially become true, right? This is what they keep doing. They keep going on TV and they say the same thing over and over and over until, even if you don't agree with the talking point, you're starting your conversations there, and that means they won. They go on TV and they say that they're transing the kids, and there's litter boxes in schools, and there's trans kids in bathrooms or whatever. They go on TV and they say that constantly, and they rile people up. They constantly are saying Kamala Harris is a communist, Joe Biden is a Marxist, and like those words make no sense, right? Anyone with a brain knows those words make no sense. But the fact that they're going on TV and saying it so frequently means that if you want to have a conversation about it, you have to essentially start by saying like, they're not a communist, which means you're already on your back foot. They're trying to do that while pointing at Zoran Mamdani and saying that he's a terrifying anti-Semitic monster. And meanwhile, the guy is just like all of his headshots are just like the happiest dude. I broke a man's brain for him falling for the propaganda litter box thing while he drove my friend and I to a furry con. The litter box thing is so obnoxious because it's like, this has been a meme for longer than I can recall. Like, they found litter boxes in schools because they're catering to furries or whatever has been a meme since like the early 2000s. And people are still acting like it's a real thing. It's like when you meet someone that's like, oh, growing up, I knew a girl named LaDasha. No, you fucking didn't. Shut up. You did not know a girl named LaDasha spelled L-A-A. No, you didn't. Everyone claims that. Shut the fuck up. It's the same thing. To be clear, there are not litter boxes in schools, and if anything, the closest thing to that is the like kitty litter-ish type stuff that they use to put on piles of vomit and shit and blood. You know, the things that come up in American elementary schools. To be fair, my nephew would totally pee in a litter box if he was allowed to. Yeah, absolutely. If they did have litter boxes in schools, the kids would probably be better about not making a mess in the bathrooms, because they would just pee in the litter box. Let me tell you a real story before I close down the stream here in a bit. I'm gonna tell you a story. And I'm gonna hydrate before I do that. Once upon a time, when I was a child, a young boy, my father took me into the city. When I was a child, my parents were remodeling our middle floor bathroom. I don't know why I said middle floor bathroom. We had two. There wasn't a... Anyway. My parents were remodeling the powder room. And as a part of that, they had to replace the toilet. There were a few days in which the toilet was missing. It was just the open toilet hole in the ground, you know, what you attach the toilet to. And I asked my mom, I went to mi madre, and I looked her in the eyes, and I said, mi madre, can I pee in the hole? And she said no. She said, no, you cannot pee in the hole. And I was like, oh, but I really want to pee in the hole. Why can't I pee in the hole? It's the same hole. It's just that there's not a toilet there. It's more direct. Mom, why can't I pee in the hole? You must understand, I'm a boy. I have a peeper. I want to use it. I can aim. I need this. And so, my mom went off to do something. I don't recall. She went like downstairs or something and was just hanging out, doing whatever. I think she was talking to a friend on the phone. And from her perspective, what she sees is her son comes running down the stairs, all happy, big old smile on his face. As I run up to her and I go, Mom, Mom, as she's on the phone, Mom, I peed in the hole. Let me tell you, when I put my mind to something, such as peeing in the hole, I get it done. I get it done. And with that, I think we're going to end the stream because I don't think I'm going to be able to give a better analysis of the political landscape of the world than that. So, men when there's a hole, indeed. If I see a hole, I'm not finishing that sentence, actually. 10 out of 10 story, thank you. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I need to go get some lunch and nap because I did not sleep particularly well. But that's just kind of standard, honestly. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. As a reminder, I stream every Wednesday and Friday at 11 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and it's now daylight savings standard time, I think. I think it's standard time now. So that's good. Gina just popped in. Hello, Gina. Gina, you need to be aware that I'm actively in my stream closing down. Yeah, all beans came in right at the end. Yeah, I'm very sorry about that. Everybody, go pee in a hole in my honor. Be happy. You're allowed to be happy. You can be skeptical of electoral politics, and you can look at what happened last night, and you can be happy with that. It is okay to feel a bit of hope. It is okay to look at the results of an election and be like, I'm glad that it went this way. And that's not incongruent with being critical of the system and demanding more from our leaders in general. Anyway, I think that's it. That's not it. Later today, later today is a new episode of Minecraft Sisyphus Edition. So I've got a gaming channel on YouTube, Endeavorance Games. So youtube.com/Endeavorance Games. And on it, I've got a series called Minecraft Sisyphus Edition, in which I attempt to beat Minecraft on hardcore mode, despite not really knowing how to do that. I've never beaten Minecraft before. I haven't really played it a whole lot since like 2013, and without looking at the wiki, trying to beat it on hardcore. And if I die, start over entirely. So, new episode of that goes up this afternoon. There are 5 episodes already out, so you can go check those out. The VOD for this will be up on my channel in just a little while, but I will see you all on Friday. Take care.